the man himself, Professor Victor Singing Eagle. Yay! All right, let's get started. We were talking about Gerald Vizenor. Wow. I know this fella, and I gotta stop saying me, I so much and focus. Let's focus on the man himself, because he's got a bunch of important, I told you before, he is a deconstructionist. And he's got some importance to us as natives. Remember, I talked about how deconstructionists believe that texts, especially writing and even art and truth and history and culture, but primarily written stuff, meaning breaks down because there's a lot of contradictions built into whatever we write, especially non-natives when they tell their truths about native people. You know what I'm saying. All right. So, Mr. I just messed this up. I didn't make it bigger. There we go. Professor Gerald Vizenor, he jumps on this stuff, and I was telling you his life story. I said that he taught in Tianjin University, UC, all that stuff, and we stopped right here at item E. We talked about the ism chart. By the way, Jacques Derrida, a French deconstructionist, literary critic, is one of his heroes. That is Gerald Vizenor's heroes. Jacques Derrida is like the great-granddaddy of deconstructionism. One of the things that he loves as a native is the concept of wordplay, irony, and trickster logic. This is important to this native writer. Ojibwe, I killed it. Doggone it, I hate when I do that. There's a nice one. Professor of American Studies. Wow, you can even click on the picture and learn about him, but I don't have enough time, you see, because I'm supposed to be bothering you about what actually is his claim to fame and his philosophies. He has two terms I need you guys to remember. Etch it into your brains, because this is good for us as native people, even if we don't like literature in English. Number one, survivance. He's the one who coined that term. That is Professor Gerald Vizenor. He coined the term survivance. I like it because it sounds like survival and defiance and persistence. It's like a combination of all that. And the other term that he coined is manifest manners. If you remember on one of the quizzes or maybe the midterm, I mentioned the fact that the older native writers from the 19th century, they oftentimes wrote very ingratiating treatises and flowery language to sound like non-natives, but actually they were secretly subverting the dominant paradigm. What do I mean by that? Well, let's just scroll down and look. So let's look at survivance first. Survivance, now an indigenous concept coming from Gerald Vizenor, which refers to a dynamic, active presence that resists absence, victimry, and domination, while encouraging survival, living with a purpose, creativity, and resistance. Survival and resistance. I like that. So if this shows up on a test, you're going to know what it means. Let's keep reading. Especially in the face of colonial narratives that usually undermine themselves, that frame indigenous people as passive victims. And this is a direct quote from Professor Vizenor himself. Survivance is more than just survival, more than just endurance or mere response. Survivance is an active sense of presence. So in his writing, which I'll bring next time to a future lecture, I'll read some of his work. His main deal is he's going to be a trickster about it, which relates to manifest manners. I'll talk about that in a second as well. He's going to be a trickster about it, where instead of just Oh, poor us Indians, our lives suck. Look at the Washichu, what they've done to us. He's going to turn that upside down, like I do with my tea. And he's going to mock a lot of dominating non-native culture and show that we are survivors and stop playing the victim and being mired in our self-pity. That's his big thing as a native. And remember, he grew up on the res, so he knows about poverty and discrimination. But he says he's not going to let it get to him, not going to let him get it down. He's going to rise above it, and he's going to make fun of it. So we're going to see that in his literature next time. Now, what is manifest manners, which is related closely to survivance? Well, manifest manners is the false and often stereotypical narratives imposed on Native people I'm messing up. I need some tea, that's what it is. My mouth is sore, or my throat is dry. Hang on. Tea time! My word, I need a cup of tea. My throat has gotten parched. Yummy. 菊花茶真的很好喝. All right, back. I was saying that manifest manners is the false and often stereotypical narratives imposed on Native people by dominant culture, especially in literature and in education and in media, as we saw with Zitkalasha. She was big on jumping on this, but she was polite about it because she's using... Wait, I'm going too fast. Slow down. The expected oversimplified and performative roles, I like that word performative, hang on to it, that indigenous people are pressured to conform to, like the noble savage or the vanishing savage, or sometimes even the howling savage. Rah! 2. In the spirit of Vizenor, he's not going to use the negative definition because the first half before the semicolon is kind of negative, right? We can see that. Oh, look at this. False and often blah, 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 impose on natives. Well, Vizenor's going to take this and he's going to put it on as a mask. Got that? He's going to, people have been saying we're natives, we're these noble savages. Let's pick it up and play with it. He picks it up. And it becomes a subversive strategy, while still performative, which enables natives to mock and repurpose tropes, playing the roles to undermine them from within, just like a trickster would. What is a trope? It's similar to an archetype in that it's sort of almost like a stereotype. A trope is pretty much a useful tool that writers use and artists use. Cultural people who deal with any kind of story writing or storytelling or painting or whatever it is. A trope is a handy dandy tool to get at meaning. Let's look the word up really fast, just for fun, because we've got 9 minutes and 7 seconds. I got to get on to my Dakota language class. What is a trope? T-R-O-P. T-R-O-P. Boom! A trope is a figurative or metaphorical use of a word or expression. That doesn't give us the best definition. A figure of speech, a common, or I like that. This is the B, item B, a common or overused theme or device, sometimes a cliche. What about a horror movie trope? That would be the dude with a big old giant axe or the giant size, that's not a steak knife. What is that knife? The big triangle knife that, is it Jason Voorhees? He carries that big old knife. Never mind. But yeah, there's a trope. There's oftentimes tropes that is overused and it's handy dandy for writers in literature. And people like Vizenor are going to take those tropes and have fun with them because you know the tropes of the noble savage, the vanishing savage, and the howling savage. Ooh! Never mind, I'm messing around too much. It's almost time for my native my Dakota language class. I know there's something I'm forgetting to tell you. Let me see. Homework. Keep your eyes out for Pop Quiz D. I'm going to probably open it up tonight. Continue reading How Do We Learn to Live Together in our Why Indigenous Literatures Matter textbook. And follow along on the posts and videos and e-learning. I didn't assign any extra readings out of our Read, Listen, Tell textbook yet. That's coming next time.